What's up, guys? Welcome to Brick House Garage. Today we're going to do some Texas plaques. I got some orders from a local taxidermy place. They're going to do a big hunt next week. So we're going to knock these out today. I'm going to show you start to finish kind of what I do. So first you're going to print out a stencil. You can just print it. I cut it out on a Cricut and then I transfer it to a piece of wood. So once you got it, you're going to transfer it over to a piece of wood. I like to use Lawon because it's easy to cut. So we're going to cut this out, make our pattern. You want to go to a piece of wood as quick as you can because you're going to, the way that paper is, when you trace it, it's going to flex a little. Once you cut it into a piece of wood, then it's going to stay that way all the time. Plus you have a template if you ever have to do them again. So let's cut it out. Alright, so now we got our template. We're going to transfer it over to a piece of wood and start cutting them out. You don't have to be perfect. If you come off the line a little, don't worry about it, and because nobody's going to really notice at the end of the day. Also, when you're cutting these out, kind of experiment. Go to the left, go clockwise, go counterclockwise, kind of figure out what's best for the saw to kind of trace that pattern, because coming one way, it might be easier to get that curve than the other, especially depending on what's your dominant hand. Alright, so we're going to transfer this over and we're going to cut one out. Alright, so we got to transfer it over to a piece of wood and we're just going to scroll saw it out and then we'll go into the finishing phase. Alright, so now you got your roughed out piece. What you're going to do is we're going to round the edge on the good side and we're going to sand it. So obviously this is backwards. When you get done, you're going to have a rounded edge like this, nice and smooth, and then we're going to hit it with 320 sandpaper just to kind of clean it up a little bit. Make sure when you're sanding, you do it on top of another piece of wood or something clean. I like to use just like one of my pieces of scrap or one of the other pieces to make sure that I don't get any transfer of like dirt or grease, something black. I always do the back side first and then I flip it over and do the front, so if you do get anything, it's going to be on the back of the plaque and not on the top. So I'm going to knock one of those out. We'll go to the other camera and then we'll be right back. Alright, so now we're going to go laser cut or laser engrave the plaques. So what I usually do is I'll bring it up in Inkscape. Inkscape's a totally free program. It's good for just like starting out. I really like Corel Draw. It's kind of expensive. That's what I usually use for work. So what we got to do is figure out where a project goes in the laser. I've already done a couple of these, so I kind of got them marked out. So that's ready to go. We're gonna, once we figure out what we want on there, I got their logo, I got the year, and I got what the title that he wants for the award, which is Big Cat. And just make sure you take a picture of what you're doing and send it off to the client so that they know, hey, this is exactly what I'm getting, because they might want to tweak some stuff. So Big Cat, we're going to export it. Depending on the software you're using, you can pick how many DPI. I know that this size works for that size plaque, so I do it at 160 DPI. Normal, to make sure that the proportions are correct, is 256 for DPI for this machine. So we got that set up. We're going to export it. Got to pick what name. I got it on my desktop as Big Country. So Big Country, we're going to go into the software. We got to load a different file so that it'll save it as Big Country. So we're going to load up bolts, which is my dog's name tag because he likes to lose them. And we loaded that up. We'll go back over here. Got our project up. We're going to export it. We want to make sure we select the whole thing. It'll export whatever's selected. So we're selecting the whole project. Whoop. Boom, whole project, Big Country, export. Want to replace it? Yes, we do, because I've already done a couple of these. So come over here, we're going to open it up. We're in the Boxy software. So Boxy is just a brand that makes this laser. You can get cheap, like 5 watts is plenty for engraving wood. So you can get low-end machines for about 300 bucks on Ali or somewhere like that, Amazon. They're not bad. They're about the same amount of work area, about 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches. So keep that in mind. You're always going to want a bigger machine, because once you get used to doing these, then you're going to want to do like tables and chairs and all kinds of like arcade machine, the side panels, cutting the panel. You know, I can't cut that panel on this machine. So that's why I'm setting up the Maslow now. So let's go back to saving this. We're going to load up our new one. It's Big Cat. Okay, I already know I want it at this position, 41.1. I've done it before, but we're going to double check it by using our alignment tool on this. If it doesn't have an alignment tool, you can always do a square box of where like the size of the project, and then just line the materials up with the square box. Set a piece of scrap wood underneath of it. You're going to have to change your focus if you do something like that, but I'm just making sure my edges are good. So right now, this should be the edge of the 2, which is on it. And sorry about the noise. It's the machine's kind of loud. It's got some really good cooling fans. So we know that's on point right there. We're going to come down, just double check our edges for the corner. I know this Predator Hunt logo is kind of right on the edge, so yeah, we're good there. And then we're going to come down and check our Big Cat right here and make sure that's on our project. So it looks like we're good. So we're going to turn alignment off. We're going to send it back to home on its X and Y axis. And all machines are going to be a little different. Make sure you just read up, watch some YouTube or whatever you want to do to learn the machine the best you can. So we got ours set up now. Now we're just going to hit print, and it's going to come over and it's going to start lasering the 2 and the 0 for the 2020. So mine indicates kind of where it's at right here. We can scroll down a little bit and you can see the whole project. So this is the surface area of the Boxy. This is the actual, like, zoomed in what the work that we're doing is. Alright, so we're all done. Got everything clear coated, sanded down nice and smooth. These are ready to go out the door. These sell really good out here in Texas, everything's Texas in Texas. So make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the little bell. They'll let you know when I got new content. I have a lot of projects coming up. We've got a super build. We have the El Camino coming up. We also got some guitar plaques. So if you're into woodworking, cars, video games, I'm kind of a one-stop shop. I do a lot of different projects. Once again, thanks for checking me out. This is Brick House Garage, and we'll see you next time.